So you're thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, or maybe you are living in Northern Nevada and no one mentioned or thought to mention the weather. Well, let's talk about the seasons, because we've got all four and they each come with their own pros and cons. So by the end of this video, you'll know what's glorious and what might have you rethinking your winter boots. So Northern Nevada is not just Reno. Northern Nevada includes Reno, it includes Sparks, it includes Incline Village, which is at Lake Tahoe. It includes the Carson City. Carson Valley is actually Minden and Gardnerville. So all of these areas combined are basically our equivalent to Northern Nevada. And it spans way beyond that, but I'm gonna keep it kind of central in the areas that I live and work. Now, each area has its own elevation. Now, I've talked about this before and I've had some comments on this. So the elevation is gonna vary depending on where you're at, what city you're in. And not only that, but Reno can be airport level, which is 4,500 feet in elevation. Then you can go all the way up into the foothills on Mount Rose and the surrounding areas in Somerset, Galena area, and you could reach that well above 5,500 foot elevation. So it really depends on where you're looking and where you land, but it's very interesting to know. I personally live above the snow level on Mount Rose Highway and in the south end of town. So we experience quite a bit more snow at our elevation than, say, people who live below in the Damani Ranch area. I do know that Lemon Valley and our northern area also receives a lot more snow, even though they're not quite as high altitude. It's just the way that that weather pattern kind of comes into our area over the mountains and then into the valleys. So let's break this down by season. Spring is beautiful, perfect hiking temps, everything is greening up, and then we have our cons. You're going to experience many springs. You're gonna receive surprise snowstorms. One day you're in a t-shirt, shorts, flip-flops, and the next day you're shoveling the driveway. We call this our first, second, third, fourth, and as in this season, in 2026, we've had about 5 winters come right back through and give us a very prolonged spring. All right, let's talk about summer. A summer pro is gonna be Lake Tahoe. This is in your backyard. Literally, depending on where you live, it can be 30 minutes from your home to an hour and a half, which is still drive time, not saying much. And those lake days are gonna be beautiful. I just loved having that environment for my kids growing up. I'm extremely spoiled. I grew up with a place at the lake with my family, very privileged, and all hands down, Lake Tahoe is my favorite place to be in the summertime. Toes in the sand, cocktail in hand. So many amazing memories of my kids and friends throughout the seasons up there, but summer obviously is one of my favorites. So we've got long days on the water, evening hikes, and a lot of festivals. So we're talking about long days on the water, not just the lake, but possibly the Truckee River. Why not go float that? That's a great pastime. As long as the river's up, definitely check that out if you're gonna do that. Maybe shoot me a text and we'll have a quick conversation and I can give you some tips on that as well to stay safe and warm. We can look forward to evening hikes. There's great hiking, a lot of tree-lined and stream-fed hiking trails in the area to keep those pups hydrating during the summertime. And then also plenty of shade. And then we also have a ton of festivals. Some of those that you can look forward to all season in July. We have the art festival downtown, and then of course, Hot August Nights, can't beat it, and then several others as well. Now a con, we do have dry heat here, so if you're not used to that, it's something to keep in mind. And some things that we do have to deal with on occasion, not every single summer, but on occasion, is wildfire season. So if there is a wildfire in California and we get that smoke that blows over into our area, or even a local fire, which tends to happen from either lightning storms or obviously something else, but those types of things we also really hate during the summer months. So don't let that catch you off guard. You might have to get used to some smoke advisory now and then. So for the fall pros and cons, a fall pro, it's kind of like living in a postcard. Crisp air, changing leaves, and the excuse to hit every pumpkin patch. Or take a drive up to California and experience some apple picking in some close by orchards. Apple Hill is an amazing place to go and super fun. And a con, sometimes it ends really fast. In a blink, it could all be gone. One day it's sweater weather with knee-high boots, and the next you're scraping frost off that window. So winter pro, especially if you love skiing or snowmobiling or snowshoeing, all of the above, it's right there. Sometimes it's right out your front door or your back door, and sometimes it's just a quick drive away. Sometimes you are just a few miles away from world-class resorts. We have a stunning winter wonderland here. And the reason why I say that is that we will have those few days of cloud cover and snow and storms. Sometimes the passes get closed, so that's a con. But one of the pros in this winter wonderland is once that storm moves out a couple days later, you have beautiful bright blue skies and usually mild conditions, which gives you the obvious opportunity to enjoy that weather and snow, go play and frolic in it as you will. Again, we have so many days of sunshine here, and that is not something that we miss very often in the winter. So it continues on. I think of as on the pros, if you're not used to driving in the snow, this can be somewhat terrifying for you and everyone else that is accustomed to driving in the snow. You will learn quickly, or just stay inside. There's usually pretty good weather reports and very clear as to what's going on outside. It doesn't last that long usually. When our storms come in, it doesn't last that long, so you won't be cooped up for long if you don't want to drive in it, but you can always do those studded snow tires or chains if you're traveling over the passes. But I personally just like to hunker down and sit inside and enjoy that beautiful snow globe type of environment from the inside of my warm, cozy house next to my fireplace. All right, let's wrap it up. So a pro or a con, Northern Nevada is full of variety. Whether you're chasing summer lake days or cozy winter nights, you'll find your groove. So if you're wondering how your dream home fits into all 4 seasons here in Northern Nevada, let's chat. I'm here to guide you through Northern Nevada living every season of the year. Reach out anytime, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos like this. Please let me know if this was helpful.